Shalom.
First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glories to
Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, HaKadosh.
I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this 100% truth according to the spirit of obedience. Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai. Peace and blessing to the hopeful elect after the portion of his word through the four corners of earth and truth and city. Yahweh said Shalom. So you're back here again to the power and spirit of Yahweh, Yahushai on a Saturday. The younger brothers class, and that's the title go, Daniel 3, and the prayer of Azariah. It's going to be open forum, but I want to go into those specific chapters. You know, of course, Azariah is mentioned in the book of Daniel 3, right? So we're going to start off with that Daniel 3, and we're going to read pretty much to the point to where they actually start to get, when they get casted into the fire, you know, and I just kind of want to go into, because the prayer of Azariah kind of gives a better insight on kind of what was his mindset when he was within the fire. And that mindset, which of course is many mindsets, you know, that mindset he had is very pivotal because it's a humbling mindset that he has in there, you know. And you even hear a reference for that mindset in Daniel 3 when you read it. Then we can start at Daniel 3 and 1. Baba Shah.
This is Daniel chapter 3 and verse 1. Where you get it? This is Daniel chapter 3 and verse 1. And it says, Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon.
Yeah, so you see Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, he had a golden image, you see. And of course, you know, when we go into this chapter all the time, this is very similar to what Esau's going to do in earth. You know, Esau's got his image that he's trying to establish, and you have to bow down to it. And if you don't bow down to it, there'll be consequences for it. You see, and we have an example right here. 3 men, even Daniel himself too. But in this chapter, example, 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, which did not bow down to that image. You see, you go ahead though.
Daniel 3 and 2. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up.
Exactly. So Nebuchadnezzar had everybody, you know, everybody. You have to come pay homage to this image that I built up, you know, this idol, essentially. Everybody, well, nobody exempt. Go ahead.
Verse 3 says, Then the princes, the governors and captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then an herald cried aloud, To you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, you shall fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up.
Yep, just going more to the aspect of Nebuchadnezzar and the idol that he's setting up pretty much. And like I said earlier, this is very similar to what Esau's doing today. You know, Esau's trying to set up his idol, and you're going to dance to his song, essentially. You know, the scriptures speak about how the prophets are out there, and we've piped unto them, you have not danced. You see, and that's the thing with a lot of these people. They're not piping, they're not coming back to the obedience of the scriptures, but they are dancing to the theme song of Esau. Essentially, a lot of these niggas out here, the wicked nation, they already really took the seed of spiritual. They already took it. You see, we just finna see a physical manifestation of it, but they've already taken it. You go ahead, though.
Daniel 3 and 6. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth the same hour, be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. Therefore, at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, and psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, the languages, fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up.
Yep. You see, they submitted. You see, which that's what's going to happen now. You know, 99% of the world is going to submit unto the system Esau's trying to bring into the earth. And it's going to be a small number that's not going to submit to that system being the elect.
Hey, wouldn't Trump say it's the golden age of America?
Exactly. See, like the premier said, it's the golden age of America. It's the golden image. You see, so you see the similarities. Now, could you pull that Baba Shah? Because in that chapter, it's going to mention those men, which they was a representation of the elect. They are the elect, but they was a representation for the elect to look back towards and see, like, okay, these men, same situation, same scenario. You know what? They didn't bow down to that image. You see, they stayed and they kept their loyalty to Yahweh.
And these were the king's seeds, that descended from King David. When you read that, I believe it's Isaiah the 32nd chapter, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's like the 38th and 39th chapter. As the prophet Isaiah, told King Hezekiah, which King Hezekiah came from the loins and lineage of King David, but he told him that your sons, your seed is going to go into Babylon. And when you read in Daniel the 1st chapter, it goes into, that seed line, of King David that came into Babylon. So Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah, we're about to read, they're part of King David's lineage. So this is the house of David. So the house of David has his mindset of not bowing.
But you got it.
Okay. This is Romans 11:4. It says, I'm gonna read verse 3. It says, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and dig down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. But what saith the answer of Yahweh unto them? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal.
Exactly, the Lord has reserved 7,000 men. And if I'm not mistaken, Paul's pretty much quoting what Elijah said, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
See, because that's what Elijah was saying at the time he had the prophets of Baal out there. He pretty much said the same thing because he was the only prophet against them. But nevertheless, the Lord is saying, like, he has 7,000 that's not going to bow down to the image of Baal. Like the priest mentioned, that's going to be the house of David, which we hope to be parts of the house of David, you see. We hope to be of the house of David, because the house of David is part of those first fruits, you see. They're going to be the beginning of the establishment of the kingdom of heaven. And they're not going to bow down to the system that Esau's bringing forth in the earth, same as they haven't bowed down to even prior systems before that, you see. They've always came up against them in the spirit of Yahweh. Now, we're not telling you to sit here, go make a what's it called, protest against the system. We're not saying that. You still got to follow the laws of the land. It's just when it gets to the point where they start to divert you from your path of serving Yahweh, that's when it becomes a problem. You see.
Yeah, we see who the house of Saul is too.
Yep.
These same individuals, these same camps that during the time of the year 2020, when that dragon juice was, being pumped inside of people. We see these particular camps, ISUPK, IUIC, so on and so forth, telling their congregation, okay, clearly, man, go get that dragon juice, keep your job. God don't want you to lose your job. God be a white man inside, So the Lord is making it clear. Okay, Malachi the 3rd chapter. Then shall you return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, him that serveth the Most High, him that don't. But who told you to stand stiffly? Who told you during those times to have faith in the Lord? The men here at Great Millstone start with our apostles, man. So Abaratazal will be a part of the house of David. Right? Because it is prophesied that the latter days that the house of David is going to be raised up. So it's your job as a believer to discern, to try the spirits, to see who's actually following, the scriptures to a T like this, man.
Yeah. Especially being the fact that what? You see the things Esau doing in earth, man. We at the point where he's finna establish a system. So that lets you know for sure that the house of David is here. Like you said. But you wait, let him finish this.
Okay.
But you get your point though. You get your point through what?
Okay. Well, I was just gonna say that's something that's only reserved for Yahweh Shai, to get everything bowed down unto him. That knee bound, it's we often bring it out on the right hand side how you don't even when the angel visited John, he ain't even bow down to him. So how much more Yahweh Shai? But these niggas is bowing down already, like you said, that example with the dragon juice, and here that's about to be soon prophesied them bowing down to the MOTB. Yet we ain't even supposed to bow down to angels. Man. So they're bound down to, to really Satan, man.
When you get that word bow in that verse, it goes into the bend over. Mm-hmm. And we see that happening with niggas now.
Yeah.
Niggas in the so-called truth as well.
Yeah.
That done sold, done got the bag, bent over, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all aligned, man.
To prostrate yourself, like they call it, prostrate, you know, like you know, you got the prostration cancer, right? Prostate cancer, pretty much, you know, cutting off your lineage, man. You know, it's what you do when you bow.
I mean, I think even now, I remember Pastor Hartman today talking about Christmas. You know, on the Christmas tree, one of the first things you have to kind of bow down to put the presents under the tree. Stuff that was kind of heavy.
Oh, you have to go down on one knee.
Yeah, you have to kneel down. Exactly.
So you're basically giving over to an idol.
Yeah, well, you're putting it or you're receiving it. You know,
Yeah.
you put the gifts down there, you get it from there. Yeah.
Yeah, I got Matthew 16. Oh, what's my mother?
Well, he gonna reread the precept, but you get your point though. Don't reread it. You go ahead and get yours though.
Okay, yeah, I want to go into that point that Brother Oswald was making about how these other camps tell their congregation, yeah, go get the dragon juice, yeah, do this, do that. Certain things that we're clearly not supposed to be doing here. Matthew chapter 16 and verse 25. It says, "For whosoever will save his life shall lose it." So ultimately, by them going and getting that juice, which that wasn't the exact MOTB, that is on the scene and that's coming as mandatory. All right, so by them saving their life, all right, all scared and shit, and then they falling into that snare that Esau's laying before them, then they're gonna be destroyed in it because Yahweh Shai is not gonna reward them with salvation when he comes. That's what they don't understand. You being in league with this world, all right, that puts you with enmity with the Father. Oh, you 1 second?
Well, nah. So a lot of people that accept that dragon juice, you know, they are losing their lives. All right, they are losing their lives to it.
Yeah.
You know, because they had not faith in Yahweh Shai. You know, it's going to be the same thing whenever the MOTB is. You know, having those boisterous sores and all that. You know, but they're going to lose their life. You know, which they already did spiritually. You know, but it's like
And like you said, the scriptures say, "What shall a man gain? A man gain the whole world but lose his own soul."
Yeah.
You see, so that's essentially what a lot of people gonna do. They're gonna try to gain the world, gain these particular things that they have on the side, and Esau's already taken away, and they really have nothing. And they're gonna do it by taking a seat, bowing down to the image.
And what did Klaus Schwab say? You know, he says that you will own nothing and you will love it, right? So you're gonna lose your life, you know, to be put under captivity. Come on now, make it make sense.
I'm gonna finish it off. Matthew 16 and 25. "For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it." So the ones that are standing stiffly for the names of Yahweh Shai Shai, they have that true, sincere faith and truly and sincerely fear Yahweh Shai Shai, they know not to take, all right, that juice for one, but of course the MOTB, that Revelation 13:16. And a lot of people, they're going to be put in that situation. Esau going to snatch up the food. It's going to be perilous times out here. All right, and they're going to be like, well, shit, I ain't got nothing else. This is the only way out. And they're going to fold, and that's just going to be the end of them. While the elect, they're going to let go of this whole life. And they're going to say, well, to hell with you and your Dorito chip, you know? And then Yahweh Shai is still going to save them, man. And the ones that do got to be martyrs, the ones that do got to go into the spiritual realm, they got to go to sleep, they're going to be raised up first.
Yeah. I want to pull a quick scripture for you, bro, because you mentioned the perilous time, right? So the brother gonna pull it real quick because
2 Timothy 3:1.
yeah. Read verse 2 also, but 2 Timothy 3:1. Yeah, come on, man.
Think of 2 Timothy 3:1. "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of themselves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy."
You see, and all of these are the characteristics of the individuals you're speaking about. You see, because the last time's gonna be perilous times, gonna be hard to bear. So what's gonna happen is the type of, I guess you could say, whatever they are, resource, metal, whatnot, is being manifested. And that's what you've seen during the time of the dragon drinks. A lot of people's intentions got manifested. You see, because Esau really didn't threaten too much. You know, he kind of gave it over to a lot of the jobs. He said that if your job told you, and you can't work here unless you got dragon juice,
right,
then yeah, but a lot of jobs don't really do that. Some jobs don't care, and then, when it comes to Jake, they let her find all these little loopholes in the system, but when it came to the dragon juice, there was no loophole. which we know people was over there doing particular things, having fake tests and things, whatever, you know. But it shows you that a lot of people's mindset in that time period, they was ready to submit. So when Esau brings when he brings his system, when he brings it to see him, that's the mindset they're gonna be in. They're gonna be ready to submit. They've already been ready to submit back in 2020. You see.
And Bubba Shop, I can add because that's the spirit that you brought the scripture out, 2 Timothy the 3rd chapter. You know, in the last days, perilous times. You know, covetous book. Because when you read the Book of Wisdom, Solomon, the 14th chapter, and it speaks about idolatry, those are all the same fruits and the byproduct of what happens, you know, when a society is given over to idolatry. So that's why you saw that degradation, you know, moral degradation in the time of the dragon juice, and even right now, because this is ultimately an idol that Esau setting up. Even when you get that word mark in the Greek, you know, charagma, but when you look in one of the definitions, it says a sculptor's idol, roughly paraphrasing. So this is the results of idolatry.
You know, and if I may add, that's what Esau wants to put inside of you. You know, that idol worship. You know.
Yeah, because if he put it inside you, he gonna have that full control. Right now, people got cash; they can do certain things. You can be on the run, but when you got that thing inside you, ain't no running, ain't no nothing.
Yeah,
that's it.
Full control.
You're the full. They already call you cattle.
Yeah.
But you're gonna be literally the cattle for real.
Like that. He's gonna be a shepherd.
Yeah, that's the left hand side that the Esau is trying to play on. You know, the left hand mimics the right. How the Lord is gonna put our laws His laws into our hearts. Right. Esau putting the laws of this world into their hearts. Right. That's why you've seen a few years ago. What was it like? 2022 when those stones broke.
Yeah.
Somebody blew it up. Georgia Guidestones. They blew them up because those laws, that population control, all those plays, keeping the world's population on at a minimum. You know, it had a bunch of laws on it. But he broke them because the new covenant he trying to make is put it in your heart, man. You know, just like on the right hand side, the Lord is gonna put, he gonna put this new covenant in us.
Yeah, that's right.
That's your spot.
That's a good point.
Real shit.
What is it called? That was it on that though.
When we go back to this,
read that verse again, then we'll jump back to the Daniel 3.
Kind of Romans 11:4. But what saith the answer of Yahweh unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal.
Exactly, which is the elect. You know, the 144,000 normal multitude the Lord has already got to preserve from the foundation of the earth. You know, but they were not going to bow down to the system that Esau was going to bring upon the earth. You see, as we're going into the example in Daniel 3, you know, and then we're going to touch up on the mindset of the individuals that didn't bow down, because the mindset of the elect is going to be the same way, man. When we jump back to that Daniel 3, if nobody had nothing, let me jump back there.
Oh yeah, so like.
Oh, I'm thinking around, guys. Like,
This is Daniel chapter 3 and verse 6. Verse 6 it says, and whoso falleth not down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace.
Exactly. So it's going to be punishment. It's going to be punishment if you don't bow down to his image. The chapter is going to. Same thing as now. Okay.
Verse 7. Therefore, at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, the languages, fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Wherefore, at that time, certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. They spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and when you really listen to, like, I'm big into like the dulcimer and the harp. I listen to like bro, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful melody. So like this is the reason why scriptures has that recorded, because this was a very melodious, harmonious tune. So it's like, you know, people by nature, you know, we're attracted to, you know, beautiful music. And that's exactly how Esau's packaging this whole system. It's just beautiful. It's captivating. Yeah. You know, music inspires people, so people are inspired, you know, by this bullshit that Esau is just playing, singing to them.
Can I get some?
Yeah,
backing that up.
Yeah, you got it.
No, cause that's a a good point. This is Nahum 3 and 4. All right, it says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcraft. You know, and going into like what we're talking about in Daniel 3, you know, it's a whole presentation that he's putting on.
Yeah.
You know, and it's basically to enchant, you know, and basically cast a spell, you know, upon all the subject of his kingdom. You know, and to make them bow down. And that's what we see America doing through its music, through its media, right? Through this whole society that's built off of lust and you know, envy, right? Things we went into in 2 Timothy 3, you know, but it just goes to show you, even back then, they understood the power of, you know, music, the power of these particular things.
It's a universal language.
Yeah. But I just want to get that.
And that's why it says that there's no enchantment against Jacob. You know, because everybody else is caught with this lullaby, you know, and being put to sleep.
We got the new song.
Yeah, we got the new song. So we're awake and moving, you know. Just to say.
And that's that Matthew 24, you know, speaks about how if it was possible, you could see the elect. So very well, this music, you know, this stuff that these songs are pushing forth, even in this time period, it wasn't able to captivate the elect. The elect wasn't all moved by it. You see, they wasn't enchanted.
I don't know if y'all ever seen the clips of Michael Jackson when he's in the studio and he's got the live musicians and the people are actually with the instruments and stuff like that. And he's like, no, that's not it. Like he's looking for a particular sound.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? and that was like the banger, the hit. You know what I'm saying? But it had to be just right. But that's the new song for us. It's just right. Versus everybody else in the world, they're just going with any melody, any soundtrack or whatever that they just gets their flesh going. You know
And that's how it's shot. And we are the instruments. We're the you know, we the band.
Yeah.
You know, each brother playing his own, playing his part of the melody, man. But Yahweh Shai is the one, you know, orchestrating.
That's right.
You know?
The maestro.
Yeah. And that's that one band, one sound.
Yeah.
But like
Drumline.
like you said, you use the word composing, right? And you look at the composer.
Yeah.
Just like when we was in the wilderness, like to stay on beat, you know, per se, you had to look at that serpent that was being lifted up.
Yeah.
If you want to stay on beat, you got to look at the composer, because he might, you know, switch things. I don't know if y'all brothers ever played it.
Maybe slow it down.
Yeah. You know, he might do that just like you might practice a total different way. Then performance come, and then he slows it just up a little bit to make it more dramatic.
Yeah.
You know, so you just gotta pay attention.
Yeah.
And that's what Yahweh Shai doing right now.
Like the Lord is colder now. He created us. He when you look at the body, it's like we have eardrums, we got windpipes, we got vocal cords. They're literally our instruments, man. For Yahweh Shai.
I got one. This is going to Aaron and the choir in the temple, but this is the book of Sirach, chapter 50, and verse 16. Because the priests are doing the same thing here in these times. 144,000 ordained prophets. The priests after the order of Melchizedek, as we're singing this new song, so you can tie that in spiritually. This is Sirach 50 and verse 16. Then shouted the sons of Aaron and sounded the silver trumpets and made a great noise to be heard for a remembrance before the Most High. Then all the people together hasted and fell down to the earth. And who's doing that now? The elect. Those that's hearing this new song, okay, they're able to receive it, believe it. All right, it says, then all the people together hasted and fell down to the earth upon their faces to worship the Lord power, Alashaya, the Most High. The singers also sang praises. And who's the singers? Revelation 4:10. It says the singers also sang praises with their voices, with great variety of sounds. Because like the priest was just talking about, every brother got their own sound, but it's one band, one sound. You know, you got different instruments. Some brother may be the trumpet, more outspoken. Another brother may be the bass, keeping that tempo. Another brother may be, you know.
Yep.
It says the singers also sang praises with their voices, with great variety of sounds was their made sweet melody. See? And you read that account in 1 Kings 8, you know, the dedication of Solomon's temple, go into how the sons of Aaron, they were playing, they were singing, and they literally summoned the presence of Yahweh B'Shem Shai. And that's what's happening now. Isaiah 19 chapter, as we do sacrifice and oblation in the midst of the spiritual Egypt. Okay, we're literally summoning the presence of Yahweh Shai to come back and fuck this place up, man, and deliver us. That's the extent of this new song. While everybody else is dancing to the devil's tune, man.
You said Chronicles 5th chapter, right?
Sirach 50. Sirach 50.
Yeah, I was Sirach.
No, you was referring to when Yahushua came down off the chariot, or came down.
That's First Kings 8. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and also said Chronicles 7. Yeah.
And like Scripture said, give him no rest to make Jerusalem a praise in the earth.
Yeah.
But we ain't got no more precepts or points. We jump into the Daniel.
Okay. Daniel 3 and 10, it says, Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
You see, so in this time, this was like that for their form of like the persecution, They was like, didn't you say they got to bow down to that song? You get your top guys over here, they don't have no regard for it, you see. It was like the sense of like the persecution. They was blaming that, see, they not bowing down, man. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna do to the prophecy of the day. You see, when all these particular things happen, he's gonna be a group of men. They're gonna be like, it's y'all fault, man. Y'all don't take seed here, y'all don't do nothing. So that was in their sense, that was like they persecution. Wasn't too crazy, but it was like, hey, see, these guys not doing it.
Accusation.
Yep. Keep going though.
Daniel 3 and 13. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar, and what did Yahushua tell us in Matthew 24th chapter? He said, you shall be given up unto kings and, to go give a testimony for my name's sake.
Take no thought what you say.
Daniel 3 and 14 says, Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, It is true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He says, let me start verse 14. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not you serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now, if you be ready, that at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, you fall down and worship the image which I have made, well. But if you worship not, you shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands?
Exactly. So Nebuchadnezzar brought him before him. So he said, I want to see it from my own side. I want to see it with my own lives, He heard the disrespect. He's like, let me make sure I ain't tripping. Let's bring him before me. Let me see it with my eyes. Like the priest mentioned, how the prophets today, they're going to be brought before kings and priests, things like that. But the Lord is going to give us what to say in that hour. You see? So can you put that with him something real quick?
If I may add too, bro, because that's a very pivotal moment within that chapter. Because that's like the last opportunity for them to make. That's the final decision. That's the ultimate decision, ultimately. And in that moment, just thinking of yourself, like in that moment, we just hope that the Lord had that same spirit upon us. You know what I'm saying? That's a very pivotal moment, because that's like, it's one thing to defy something, like how we're ultimately committing treason against Esau right now. Just sitting in the comfort of this living room, air conditioning, fan, lights, right? But it's another thing to commit that level of defiance, well in the face of if you pretty much that final decision, that path being laid out before you. You know what I'm saying? So that's heavy.
Hey, like
That's the
you
ultimate decision. Right?
Yeah, like you see that. I mean, you see they might make like comedy in a movie, nigga talking shit behind somebody's back, you know. But then when they like, so what was all that stuff he was talking about? Oh, dude, and now he in front of the nigga, he
Stuttering
like,
and shit. Like,
man, you know how fucking them out. You know they fold. You see, so like you said, that's a very pivotal point because like there's one thing. You know, be out on the highways and byways, you know, you gonna die. You saw we talking through the camera screen, and this when you saw him be sitting here, you gonna be right in his face. They saw him like, you know, point at the guillotine. Exactly.
Yeah.
He gonna probably, you know, who knows, you know. You just, like you said, we just pray that the Lord has that
see
spirit.
it. We gonna be in that moment.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in that moment, that spirit was on them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If I may ask, you know, in that moment, because you know, there'll be certain other brothers that will be in that situation. All right, bros, just whatever precept come to mind. What's the first precept that will come to your mind in that moment? Think about that.
I got
Strive for
tribulation,
1 Peter
10
4:12.
days.
Fiery trial.
Fire trial.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just because I was thinking about that. You got to really put yourself there.
Yeah.
Think about that. Sirach 2:10.
Yeah.
We were called upon the Lord and
Yep.
was confounded.
Yeah. I was thinking, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord
Damn,
shall
bro.
fight for thee.
These are our weapons.
Yeah.
These are weapons in that moment. It was heavy what you said, bro. Being put in that moment, like, you just have to hope that the Lord gonna do what was written.
Yeah.
So automatically we gonna snap into a Slim Jim on the precepts, and that right there is our power, bro.
That's it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Hey, that's all we had to hold fast to his word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Lord, he gave a command. He said, you do these particular things, I'm gonna be there. So that's all we can do in that time is hold fast. Hey, what the Lord said, these particular things.
Say it, bro.
Hey, you can hold fast to that
That's
word,
it, bro.
That's
Ain't a
all.
liar, bro.
Hey, and if the Lord, as we gonna continue reading, hey, and if the Lord do let it be so, then fuck it.
Right.
You gonna be raised up.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna happen as well.
Yep.
The Lord gonna
Yes,
be
sir.
delivering people out of even that, that situation. But hey, some people is gonna have to ride it all the way out.
That's it.
And hey, the Lord is gonna have the spirit on you, where you gonna be able to take it.
Good
Yeah,
point.
that's it.
What, guillotine, whatever.
You gonna take it?
The Lord is gonna be with his men. And you gotta know that. It can't be I might get it. Nah, you just gotta know the Lord is
Yeah.
with me. Because
Yeah.
you can't be in there thinking in your mind, damn, you before Trump. And you like, damn, he like, you ain't even no man of the Lord. You're like, damn.
Yeah.
You can't know, bro. You gotta be fully persuaded in your mind.
Yeah.
You gotta have an immense amount of faith.
Yeah.
That's why we tapping into that now. We preparing for that now.
Right now. There you go, bro.
I got a precept.
Yeah, you get your reason.
I just got the one that I just said. 1 Peter 4:12. It says, "Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you." And that's another thing too. Death by fire, like the situation we're reading about in Daniel 3. Death by fire. You know what I'm saying?
Terrifying.
That's that really taps into that carnal fear of death. So for them to conquer that shows you the level of fortitude and faith that they had. But it says 1 Peter 4:12, it says, "Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as some strange thing happened unto you." And that's the reason why we go into these precepts over and over and over again. Because when brothers are put in that situation, your first thought is going to be like, well, this is what we've been preaching. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It ain't going to be it's going to be different for these other guys
Right.
who've been diminishing, the word, not really going into it. They going to be the ones that are really condemned in the spirit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But verse 13,
They like you, like you made a point of like you saying that because they gonna realize that carnal strength that they thought they had is gonna be null and void. You see, you put in a situation like that, like you're saying, we have the unbelievable to think about. We had that optimistic mindset. We get put in these certain situations. The Lord prepping us for it, like you said. That's how we can conquer the mindset of dying by death. The Lord said that. I mean, look at Stephen. Stephen was being stoned to death pretty much. He didn't even know. Like, nah, he literally looked up getting stoned. Like, if you kind of just look at that, if you set a person down, you throwing boulders at their ass and they standing still, it's like shit. That's scared individual throwing stones at him.
And he was looking at the glory of the Lord.
Yep.
And he looked up and he was seeing the Lord.
Man, that was a beautiful point you made, Rock, about these other counts, man. Like Jake, that's in these debate spirits, bro.
Yeah.
When you literally faced with that ultimatum the preacher Paul was just talking about, and this whole time in this grace period, okay, you woke up in New Year's with like, and you was in that debate spirit, what the fuck? How's that gonna edify? How's that gonna help you in that time? Or you got caught up in all these gimmicks with IUI, see a million niggas marching up and down the street. How the fuck is that gonna help me when I'm literally, you know, in the heat of the battle, bro? I just remember some niggas shutting down traffic.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know the only thing that is gonna help you in that day? Being faith-based.
That's it.
Faith is the only thing you're gonna have when it's all said and done.
And what do they call us?
Faith-based Israelites.
That's right.
Thou sayest.
That's why I said it. Thou sayest.
Shot if I can, because when you brought up Stephen, I just want to read this because I asked Chat, was Stephen in pain when he was being stoned? It says the text does not explicitly say whether Stephen was physically felt pain. From a human standpoint, being stoned normally caused great suffering, but Scripture emphasizes something different. His vision of Yahweh Shah and his prayer and his prayerful, peaceful spirit. Many interpreters believe his Holy Spirit gave Stephen supernatural comfort, or even dulled the pain, because instead of crying out in agony, he focused on forgiving his killers and seeing the Yahweh.
Don't not the scriptures say, my righteous shall feel no torment?
There you go.
Man, see, so like that's, you know, and you know, you got the particular things, these scary ass movies, whatever. You saw me bugging Jake out. Oh shit, did you see paranormal? Like the Lord, hey, no torment shall touch us. So you gotta believe His words. You know, it's going to go back to your faith. Like you believe what the King said. Scripture say, where the word of the King is their power. They believe that. We looking at it in the street, we shouldn't have been. They believe it, but
Barbershop, if I may, bro. Because on that point, even if the, you know, because even if you do feel it, you know what I'm saying? Even if there is pain, like I believe, you know, through the Spirit, the Lord is gonna put a spirit on us, man.
it's gonna be different.
Like Apostle Riccardi saying, you gotta
Fuck the
you
pain.
gotta fuck the heat.
Fuck the heat. There you
Well,
go.
I got
You know,
I got
even if it is pain, it's like, yo, you gotta embrace that shit.
Yeah.
You gonna have no choice but to embrace it. And in a lot of cultures, like when you look into, you know, like what's it gates of passage or rites of passage for boys to become the men, they would purposely put boys through painful experiences because a lot of times pain is the door. It's what's going. It's really what teaches you. You know what I mean? Just wanted to make that point.
I got the precept to back everything that you've been saying up. Because when Stephen looked up, the scripture says in Acts 7:55, but he, being full of the Holy Spirit, looked up steadfastly into heaven and saw the glory of God and Yahweh Shai standing in the right hand of the Most High. You know, but just backing you up, he was in the spirit when that took place. You know.
Can I pull a precept?
Yeah, you get yours. You got yours.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "For the souls of the righteous are in the hands of Yahweh Shai, and there shall no torment touch them." It says, "In the sight of the unwise they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery."
Exactly.
So, but in the hands of Yahweh Shai, which we are steadfast in, especially during that period of time that we're going through those pains. Yahweh Shai isn't going to allow the world to get a leg up on us.
Yeah.
All right.
And like you said, that verse tell you how the side of it is going to be bad. It said the departure was misery compared to the carnal eye.
Yeah.
You see, so the carnal eye getting beheaded is going to be misery. Oh shit.
I'll finish that out. It says, "And their goings from us to be utter destruction, but they are at peace."
Yeah.
But they are in peace.
Let's go.
We're going to be in the peace of Yahweh Shai because of His mercy. All right, He's going to give us peace to go through it. And call Yahweh Shai.
All deliverance is painful. Like a baby, like a woman giving birth. The baby and the woman is crying. But this is
but it's one of the most beautiful acts. Like you see them afterwards crying. Shit.
Yeah.
Father coming in like damn.
Mm-hmm. but like as a young woman's mind looking at that would be like, I never want to give birth.
That's her biggest fear.
It's like, damn, I have to go through that. So, but like that's these other nations looking at us like, damn, I would never want to go through that. But they don't know our end is peace. You know, they don't know our end is kingship, rulership. That baby is the peace of the world, which of course is Yahweh Shah coming. You know, but also our deliverance as well. But you gonna say something?
Yeah, like I won't get it, but Hebrews 12:2, looking unto Yahweh Shah, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is now set down at the right hand of Yahweh. Yeah. So Yahweh Shah went through the worst of the worst.
Yeah, that's like you didn't need to put that.
That was my favorite. But nah, hey.
That's good.
Nah, but even that. Going through it, Yahweh Shah looked forward to something. He wasn't just getting whipped, just damn this down. Nah, man, it was for a purpose. So we're suffering for a purpose. The outside looking in, they don't see that purpose because they can't even understand it anyway. That gift wasn't given to them, the gift of faith. So you going through your hell, you going through whatever with that mindset of I'm doing this for a particular reason and ultimately to get the kingdom. They just looking like, damn, you just suffering, you just going through it. Like, what the fuck, you crazy. You crazy as hell. Curse the Most High and die. That's what they thinking. So you gotta keep that in mind to what are you looking for? The same thing that Yahweh Shah was looking forward to. The kingdom, bro.
Hey, can I get this one precept from Allah?
Yeah,
You can break it down, bro, because everything you said through the Spirit is right in. Isaiah 66 and verse 7 in the NLT. Points in verse 9. Well, really, all three verses. It says, before the birth pains even begin, Jerusalem gives birth to a son. Who has ever seen anything as strange as this? Who ever heard of such a thing? Has a nation ever been born in a single day? Has a country ever come forth in a mere moment? But by the time Jerusalem's birth pains begin, her children will be born. Would I ever bring this nation to the point of birth and then not deliver it? Asked the Lord. No. He says, no, I will never keep this nation from being born, says your power.
Beautiful, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, what much more is there to say on that? The Lord is going to make do with his promise, man. You know, the Lord had us go through this to build us up and to nourish us, but we got to be delivered, so we got to go through labor, you know.
Whenever you ever seen a pregnant woman just stay pregnant for the rest of her life, no, that shit coming out with that shit, but that baby coming out somehow, some way, you know. So our case as a nation, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans and Israelite foreigners, bro. Listen, we gonna be delivered, starting with the elect. That's right. This baby gotta come on out. Deliverance is coming, bro.
Birth pains is here.
Time is short because the water is already broke.
Right.
The knowledge has already been let out. You know. The highway has been made manifest. See, pervertedly dilating right now.
Crowning.
Yeah.
A walk.
I don't know, you know, I can't speak to, I know maybe some brothers who've seen, you know, childbirth. But, you know, obviously it's a painful experience. But it comes to the point to where the woman, she has to accept the pain and she has to take the instruction of the doctor, you know, like the doctor telling her to put, you know what I'm saying? Push. You know what I'm saying? I had something real quick I wanted to read. I know you want to get back to it.
Yeah, you got it.
This is
it's like a bubble shot. It's like, bro. But if you want it, hey, cause could you imagine it? Man, that's spirit, bro. Cause when a woman is, you know, delivering that baby, what comes out? Okay, you mentioned that water breaking. You got water and blood. Now, when your Yahweh Shah was pierced by that Roman centurion, what came out? Water and blood. You know?
Come on, bro.
You got it.
I'm gonna read this real quick. This is on verywellmind.com because this is like a therapeutic, like this is what, like, you know, therapists tell like clients something that helps. This is a term that they actually use. It's called radical acceptance. It says radical acceptance can be defined as the ability to accept situations that are outside of your control without judging them, which reduces the suffering they cause. By accepting things for what they are, you can acknowledge your emotions without denying, avoiding, or ignoring the situation. It can be an extremely effective way to process your emotions and manage difficult experiences. So, radical acceptance, you know, and that's what we're gonna have to do. Not only are we gonna accept it, but like we read in 1 Peter 4, we're gonna rejoice. You know, so I just want to bring that up.
And like he's saying that's what it says in Micah, I will bear the indignation of the Lord until he plead my cause. You see, so like I said, accepting it. That's what Yahweh Shah did. He accepted it. And he sat down at the right side of the Father. So
It's
how much
like-
more his followers?
It's like I was gonna add. It's like Marcus Aurelius, I believe, said it. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a carnal example is like when you go brothers that have tattoos. I know it's going off, but you know, you go to get your first tattoo, you're like, fuck, like you don't know how it's gonna feel, so on and so forth. But then once you actually start going through, you're like, fuck, you talking to the dude. It's just like you don't even, you don't even. But it was the fear in your mind that causes you to have that state of how do I want to say, like just being afraid of it.
Just that weight.
Just to add to just real quick, you know, you brought up birth. If I may add just real quick, for bros who were at, I know you watch your child.
Yeah, I watched it.
And I've seen all three of mine born, and bro, I will tell you, we know these women, known them for years, but in the moment, they're dilating, and to the point where the doctor comes in, all right, it's time to deliver, bro, it's something that comes over them, you see it. Me being this truth, now I understand, man, that's the Lord. So look on their face, man, bro, that's just like,
They got accomplished.
yeah, it's like, it's almost like they're unrecognizable in that moment. It truly is, man. It's just something where they're just like, it's just automatic. It's just, they're locked in. It's like the Lord at that point is just taking over their whole spirit, bro. You can see it in their face. I've been in awe just watching them, watching them like, man, wow. So yeah, it's heavy.
It's heavy you mention that because it's like, when you think about the whole process, they're being told, they know they're going to have a baby. It's kind of like, because we know the Lord coming. They got that whole 9 months to pretty much think about it. Then they get there, you're dilating, and then it's not as quick because you get the contraction, they get shorter. Now you got to get ready because that's what happens. And they, like you said, they lock in.
They snap in.
They lock in and they push it. 1, 2, 3, push. They can't even get it break from that.
Man, bro, but they just like, I'm doing it. Their whole face is like, I'm doing it. There ain't no like, I gotta do it. It's a beautiful sight, bro.
And you see them. Now I was gonna say, you see them go even harder when they tell. I know when the doctor will be like, we see the baby head, boy. That's when they really lock in, and we see the baby head, like we see the prophecies happen. So
bro.
we like, oh shit, we see it happening.
They just honed in, bro.
Yeah,
it's an amazing thing to see, bro.
But what does Esau give you? He gives you C-sections.
Yeah.
What's that numbing cream?
Epidural.
Epidural. See, he wants to try to numb everything.
Yep.
See, but Yahushua like, no, you're gonna do this the hard route. Esau, this C-hip is a way out. At least it appears to be.
Right.
Yeah, because that epidural, what it's doing is lullabying Jake back to sleep. It's like, nah, man, you ain't gonna feel no pain. I mean, Jacob's trouble isn't gonna happen.
Exactly.
And hey, here we are.
And those needles are dangerous too.
Yeah, they give them shots in the back.
Just on a side note, he put the epidural needle in my woman's back, man, and had a call and left the room with the needle in her back.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
When I talk about I snapped on this dude, man, he left the room. Needle in her back.
And
Any little.
They can go paralyzed.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I couldn't believe that, bro. This fucking devil left the room, bro, with the needle in her back, man.
Medical error, like the #1 cause of death, if I'm not mistaken.
He was an evil motherfucker, man.
Medical
He knew he
error.
was bringing in the Jake. He was just a wicked motherfucker, man.
They don't.
That could fuck you.
Yeah, bro. I'll never forget that, bro.
And that's something that the Lord promised Eve. Hey, childbirth,
Yeah,
you gonna
yeah.
feel that pain.
Yeah,
So who the fuck are we to try to, go somewhere else, go to Esau for alleviation? We gotta feel this pain as we deliver.
That's right. That's right, bro.
You get your free stuff because I know you never got it, so
I got you.
It's still ties in. This is Psalms 31:23. Oh love of the Lord. Or it says Psalms 31:23. Oh love the Lord, Yahweh, all ye saints. For the Lord preserveth the faithful, and plentiful rewardeth the proud doer. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. All ye that hope in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Let's go, man.
Now you got it.
I was going to add on to the point that the Lord, like, when we go through things, like, He's strengthening our heart. Like, He's strengthening us up, through our trust, though. So, like, it's a natural state that, almost an animalistic state, like, that we'll get in, where it's just a survival mode, natural things where your body just, it numbs out the pain. You have endorphins that get rushed to your body if you break a bone, things that can kind of hold back that pain, but like it's all relative on what you focused on. If you focused on the break, then it's gonna hurt more. If you focused on, not looking at it and keeping your mind sitting on something else and just your breath work, right, then you'll be preserved from that pain.
Yeah, that's facts. Because when you look at that shit.
Yeah, you start to rationalize. You start to try to fix the problem.
Yeah.
But we know that there's a problem that can't be fixed. It's just something we're gonna have to go through.
Yeah.
You know?
I got it.
What is I know we on the. I know Tom getting. I wanted to get to a point in the script in the chapter real quick. So hold on, the precept real quick. You
What scripture say? Through childbearing she shall be delivered.
Yeah.
But in the spirit, that's what you just said.
Yeah.
Oh, Slack, my bad. My bad.
No, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, that's what you're
Yeah, when you
Okay.
start talking about that.
And but spiritually, who's that woman? The elect.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
Yahweh Shah's woman.
Man.
16.
So through childbearing, we got to.
Yeah, exactly. Did you have a
This is
precept?
cold, ain't it?
Oh no, you
Oh,
good.
okay. What is it called? We'll get to the back to that
Okay.
and read some more.
Daniel 3 and verse 14. Let's see.
Now you read verse. You read verse 15, so you're in verse 16 right now.
Okay. Daniel 3 and 16. And this is Nebuchadnezzar speaking. He says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Oh, Slack. He says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter.
So they was like, in other words, they said we don't give a damn how you feel. We finna tell you straight up. They like, it's no easy way to tell somebody that I'm not gonna bow down to your bullshit. Like, there's no easy way to overly disrespect somebody and be like, So they just want like, we're gonna tell you straight up what it is, So we'll pull this real quick.
God, this was Psalm 5, is that I wanted? Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such have afflicted him, and have made no account of his labors.
Exactly, that's what you see happening. They standing in great boldness of the one, because the one's afflicted. They're in captivity under Babylon, under
Right.
Nebuchadnezzar. And that's the same thing now. When we be brought before the king of this, we brought before Esau, we're going to stand in great boldness. The Lord's going to, we've been going into it, and the Lord's going to put a certain type of spirit upon us, man. And we're going to stand in great boldness in the face of our enemies. Yeah, precept.
Yeah, just to maximize on that point that guys made, Wisdom of Solomon 4:15. It says, "This the people saw," because this is Enoch. It says, "This the people saw and understood it not, neither laid up in their minds that His grace and His mercy is with the saints, and He that had respect unto His chosen." All right, because we gonna look at Esau, saying, nah, man, fuck this shit, man. I would rather be with the Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai than to be with you, and he's gonna be like in awe, like what? No, but in our minds, through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai, we're casting off this world,
God, beautiful point. That was it on that. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that was right.
You jump back to the Daniel book, for
Okay. Daniel 3 and 17 says, if it be so, our power, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. And if he will not deliver us out of thine hand, O king, but if not, be it known unto you, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
Exactly. So they was like, hey, we're not gonna bow down what the Lord delivers not. It's like fuck it, but we're not gonna relinquish, we're not gonna renounce our loyalty to Yahweh Shah. And that's gonna be the mindset of the elect, man. They're gonna be in this captivity. We just mentioned, certain brothers will be martyrs. The scriptures speak about that, but they're not gonna renounce their loyalty to the Lord. Because at the end of the day, the Lord promised them immortality. He said He's gonna raise them up. You read about that. Paul said, "Can't nothing keep you from the love of the Lord." Not death, nothing. So the Lord gonna raise it. We're not scared of death. Now, of course, your flesh is a natural, and your flesh is always gonna fear death. It might get a little cross, whatever. But we know the spirit, when the spirit kick in, it's not gonna phase us. Just like it did Stephen. He was being stoned to death. So it didn't phase him. You got appreciate
Yeah, real quick before you got it, bro. Revelation 12 and 11 NLT. Oh, that's great, yeah. It says, and they have defeated him by the blood of the Lamb and by their testimony. And they did not love their lives so much that they were afraid to die.
Read that again, bro.
Yep, it says Revelation 12 verse 11 NLT. It says, and they have defeated him by the blood of the Lamb and by their testimony. And they did not love their lives so much that they were afraid to die.
The defeat by the blood and the testimony, you see. The blood and the testimony. They had the mindset that is, hey, like Scripture say, we had not a continuous city here, but we seek one to come. So they didn't care about their life on this side. That's the thing with a lot of people. They fear death because of the things they have on this side, which a lot of niggas don't have shit, but the things they have on this side,
Right.
you see? That's why Esau, that's why when you brothers bring him up a lot, you got Peter Thiel. What's the main thing a lot of these Edomites talk about when it comes to AI, where they're amazed at the aspect of pretty much being able to access a point of life where they be immortal. You know, transhumanism. You see why? Because Esau don't want to die because he has a lot of particular things. He knows Esau does understand reincarnation, but he'd rather just not fucking die. You know, he'd rather just still be alive and still be able to do what he want to do. And that tells right there how the mindset of a lot of people is afraid of death, but we're not afraid of death. Yahweh shall conquer. Yahweh shall conquer death. If we follow in the same footsteps, we gonna conquer death too, man. You see?
And well, that's Sirach, I believe the 40th or 41st chapter says the remembrance is death. The remembrance of death is bitter to him that has riches.
Yeah.
You know. So, and that's why King Solomon said, "Vanity of vanity, all is vanity." It's like, what's the point of having all this? I'ma still die. You know. So Esau wants what we have. We're gonna have the riches, the honor, everything, plus immortality. So we're gonna be able to enjoy all that forever.
And that's also in that Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, you know, because they counted their lives to be so like they wanted to live forever, you know, because they had so much riches, you know. Just a sec.
Talking about the wicked.
Yeah, the wicked.
Okay. You keep going into Daniel.
Daniel 3 and 19. Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Exactly. So his facial expression changed at that one. You see, he had an exaggerated reaction to that. No telling how they said it to him. You know, it's not. Don't go through like this is word for word what they said. They said it like this. They was yelling. We don't know exactly how they said it, but we do know that they said we ain't gonna answer you carefully. You see, you go ahead.
Because you gotta feel like you know, put yourself in Nebuchadnezzar's shoes, because he had them up in a very high, prominent position.
Exactly.
You know, like I said earlier, you know, they were set over the affairs of his province, so that was like treason times 10. Because like, man, I trusted you. Like, you know, this the thanks I get. So he says, then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 17 times more than it wont to be heated.
So he turned it up. He turned it up a lot. He said 7 times more. He turned it up a lot, man. A lot. Not a little bit, a lot. That's how mad he was. And like the priest mentioned earlier, you know, dying by fire is not a light thing. Like being put in the fire, like that fucks with the flesh. Because you gotta think about a lot of motherfuckers. Some people survive being burned.
Yep.
And they just be looking fucked. They just fucked up. It's like, damn, you see the before, then after they got burned. This all the extra like ears and nose, that shit gone. Fire took it. Their eyelids probably gone. No facial, none of that. So you gotta imagine the agony they was when they was in the fire, man, and then dying from this shit, man. You see?
That's why the Lord got the second death by the way of fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you burn and you suffocate at the same time.
Exactly.
So it's like you losing air. You just gasping for it, and that fire is going down your insides of your body. That smoke, that
Burning your lungs inside out too.
It's burning you inside out. You're gasping for air. You know, that's why it says the tongues is gonna be
Melting in
their mouth.
Yeah, melting in their mouth and their eyes.
Why on their feet?
And you have neurons in you have more, I believe, nerves in your eyes and in your tongue than any part of your body, because it's like the most two. You know, without those, you kind of you're through. You miss them, you know. So like it's got like those are very like intricate body parts. So yeah, it's a terrible way to go out.
Exactly.
I got one.
You go ahead. Close it out on yours.
Okay, this is Sirach 27:5. The furnace proveth the potter's vessels. You know, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Something.
No. You good? I cut you off. So
you got it.
Nah.
All right. I'm reading again. Sirach 27:5. The furnace proveth the potter's vessels. All right, and you know the spirit. You know we're likened unto vessels. In the Lord's will, we're vessels fitted for mercy. You know, and deliverance. You know, and that furnace that the Lord allowed Nebuchadnezzar to put Hananiah, Mishael, Azariah in, you know, it proved that they were elect men.
Yeah.
You know, they were that golden wedge of Ophir.
And like you saying that, it makes you think about that Zechariah. You know, the Lord, he really likes him on the gold and silver, and he said he's going to bring them to the fire.
Right.
You see, so like you said, it showed like what type of metal. Cause look, that's all they're looking for. He's looking for the gold and silver. That's the elect. And that showed their mind, showed that their faith was gold and silver. You see, like, hey, we good. Because essentially, when you read the rest of it, which I do, I'll finish it. I read the lesson when I get the song of the three holy children, because we didn't get to it. But essentially, you know, they got put in the fire and nothing happened. You see,
because everybody want to talk about, oh, I want to be close to the Lord. I want to be close to the Lord. But do you? Because He's a consuming fire.
Right.
So the closer you get to the Lord, the more fire you're going to feel.
Yeah.
Either He's going to burn you up, or you're going to get cleaner. You're going to get more purified as you get closer to the Lord.
Because it's going to take away that dross.
Yep.
You know.
Most people can't handle that.
Yep.
They can't handle that. You know, they feel a little heat. They want to, you know, in the flesh. Your flesh naturally wants to, you know, repel. And that's a space. That's the mindset.
I burned my thigh with the iron the other day. I was like, fuck. You know how hard this is?
Yeah.
It bothered me for like 2 days.
And you think about, you see it a day to day. I remember, I think y'all kind made this point, but man, nigga can't go fucking hour, fucking shit, 10 minutes without a snack.
Yeah.
Now you think about that, nigga. I'm at the job site. I'm sitting there pushing. Cause I intermittent fast a lot. I'm sitting there fasting from when I'm at work till like 12. Nigga, man, I gotta get a snack. And I'm like, damn, nigga, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. What you need a snack for? Nigga,
Stop at the gas station.
Exactly, gotta get a snack. Nigga, you just ate your breakfast. Tomorrow I gotta get a snack. Shit, nigga, they got a hell of snacks. It shows like these. That's the little heat from the fire right there. To be disciplined not to eat at a certain time. My niggas can't do that shit, man.
Or you at the gym, because the gym I go to, you know, they got the sauna or whatnot.
Yeah.
And bro, niggas go in the sauna for like 2 minutes. Like, bro,
Yeah.
I'm over here 15 minutes in, I'm meditating, you know, motherfucker, you know, trying to open up the doors. Like, man, what the fuck you doing?
I was going to say, hey, Jake ain't got
You can't just sit there and feel it.
Yeah.
You gotta just be able to sit there and feel that shit, bro.
So we'll close that out on yours, Eduardo. You got it.
Yeah, going into the point, actually, Mark chapter 14 and verse, I'll start at 22. It says, and they bring him unto the place Golgotha, which is being interpreted the place of a skull, which is where he was crucified. Verse 23 is the point. And they gave him to drink wine mingled with myrrh, but he received it not. So Yahushua rejected that, because that would alleviate some of the pain that he already had. You know, he got to carry his cross. He got helped by, of course, a man. All right, but he got flogged, he got slapped, all this crazy stuff, being up for days on end, all of that. But Yahushua actually refused it.
Yeah.
But why? I just typed in on Google that precept and why he refused it, and it popped up an AI overview, because that's what happens now. They get AI overview.
Yeah.
And it says, Yahushua refused the wine mixed with myrrh offered to him at his crucifixion, primarily to embrace the fullness of the suffering appointed to him by Yahweh for the sake of humanity's redemption.
Now you think about that. Imagine if somebody was purifying gold and they half-assed it. That shit ain't pure. So you see, if we want to be purified, we want to, get those new bodies. We can't half-ass. We can't not want to embrace the suffering. That's needed. So we can't half-ass it.
I was gonna say also, like when we was the Levitical priest was to offer up sacrifice, actual animal sacrifices. There wasn't none of that for the animal, like to alleviate the pain. Like it had to be pure. It had to be this particular type of meat.
Exactly.
It kind of goes after that, and I'm done. But I'll just read the rest of it. It says, he sought to be fully conscious and aware of the pain, fulfilling scripture, and ensuring his role as the perfect sacrifice for sins. Additionally, okay, well, that's the point.
Hey, beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Hey, so we had a point. I mean, you can say the point. You can say the point.
I was gonna say too, because like with Yahushua, of course, he's the chief example of him fulfilling his name, which is Yahweh saves, or but like he earned that within his death.
Yeah.
And so did Stephen. Stephen's name means crown, but he earned that within his death. And a lot of men, they earned their names through their death in the scriptures, and just like the story which we read, when you read chapter 1. It goes into how Nebuchadnezzar, when they came into Babylon, their names was changed. They had to, a amalgamate themselves to that captivity, and they had to associate themselves with that, and it was all in an attempt to break them down. So like in this walk, brothers have been given new names. You know, we've received names, and we gotta fulfill those too. But it might just be through our death. You know,
Because
so you know your name can't mean strong, and then you go out like a whole ass nigga. You know?
Then you be weak as fuck.
Yeah, your name can't be meek or humble, and you know we think that we deserve a higher a higher like spiritual power at the time we don't get it. You know, so it's like the name you've been given is for a reason. You know, it's given in the spirit. You know, we was all born in the spirit, so we gotta fulfill that too. Just meditate on that.
for sure. If I may say, the name that you're given, you know, your name isn't living up to you. You're living up to your name.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So like, and on top of that, your name was given by the presbyteries, by the elders. The elders didn't just open a book, point a finger and be like, yeah, I'll just name them that. Nah, they did a diligent search. They each and every one of the brothers that got their names from the elders, you know, the elders sat on that. You know, it's like, how does this brother exemplify, you know, his walk?
Yeah.
You know, so like, you know, I'm just saying.
Even a name from your parents, because the Lord said He knew us in our womb. So you might have a name, you might hit a double name. You know, it's like, damn, I gotta fulfill it, man.
Yep, hey, beautiful points, man. I'll Lord's will sometimes I'll go into the prayer of Azariah, because you know the children. But yeah, Lord, this is edifying to the power and spirit of Yahweh from Shai. So what did you out from your brethren? We're gonna get up and call Allah.
Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem HaKadosh.
When they get there by honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstones, so y'all we're gonna say Shalom.
Shalom.
Strong.